Good morning, viewers. What a warm way to welcome you to LNTV News Live. 30 minutes of news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our world. This morning is March 30, 2021. I'm Cecilia Glickly-Clark, anchoring to this morning edition, and these are the top stories we're following. The Justice Ministry files a writ of prohibition to the Supreme Court seeking to block the certification of Lofa County Senator Elite Brownie Samuka. Liberian Senate to make final decision on the printing of new Liberian currency. Maryland County Superintendent appeals for calm as tension brews in the county over the killing of a motorcyclist. And of the home front, traffic resumes in the Suez Canal after a stranded container ship was finally removed by a salvage cruise. All these stories, plus much more, are coming up. But first, let's take a short break to be right back. Thanks for rejoining us. Justice in Chambers Joseph Nangwe has added that documents under the signature of Councillor Waking's right be removed from the records of the Supreme Court. This follows legal arguments into the rate of prohibition fight by the Movement for Progressive Change against the certification of Brownie Samuka as Senator of Lofa County. Justice Nangwe said Councillor Wright has created a conflict of interest when he represented the National Elections Commission and then Brownie Samuka at the Supreme Court. After Justice Nangwe's ruling, the National Elections Commission legal team took an exception and announced an appeal to the full bench, but later withdrew and pleaded with Justice Nangwe to give 48 hours to their response. Meanwhile, another petition has surfaced before the Supreme Court of Liberia seeking to prevent the National Election Commissions from certificating Lofa County Senator-elect Brownie Samuka. The Supreme Court Monday confirmed to ELBC that the government of Liberia, through the Justice Ministry, has filed a 19-count application for writ of prohibition consistent with Chapter 16. Section 16.21 of the Civil Procedure Law of Liberia. The Ministry of Justice application is similar to the Movement for Progressive Change legal request that seeking to deny Vandas Samuka's certification following his conviction by the Supreme Court for misapplying AFL Sodia's pension during the administration of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. To this one, now the Liberian Senate is expected today to deliberate and make final decision on the printing of a new family of Liberian dollar banknotes in a tone of $48,734,000,000. The decision followed a report from the Joint Committee on Banking and Currency, Ways, Means and Finance, Budget and Judiciary, Human Rights and Claims and Petitions, Public Accounts and Audit. Senate Secretary Nangwala Seme read the committee's report in session Monday.
That the Senate concurs with the House of Representatives to grant authorization to the Central Bank of Liberia to print new family of currency in the amount of $48,734,000,000 Liberian dollars, so as to completely replace the current Liberian dollar banknotes. 2. that the denomination of banknotes to be printed shall be $20 Liberian, $50 Liberian, $100 Liberian, and $500 Liberian, and the denominations to be minted in coins shall be $5 Liberian and $10 Liberian, respectively. 3. That the printing of the banknotes and minting of coins shall be undertaken in 2021 and 2022, and that there shall not be printing and minting in 2023. 4. That sufficient logistics are put in place to manage the currency reform process as recommended by the President of the Liberian Bankers Association. 5. That adequate internal control measures as well as operational procedures are in place and maintained at the SEGAL as recommended in the Crowd Audit Report. 6. That the SEGAL shall notify the legislature of the actual volume and the value of currency printed and imported into the country at every interval in 2021-2022.
Well, following the reading of the report, Grand Cape County Senator Danny Sherman proffered this motion.
Joint Committee, I move that the report be accepted, circulated to all members of the Senate. A debate occurs on our regular session day on Tuesday, and on Wednesday we decide how next to proceed.
Second.
Tension is reportedly brewing in two of the major cities in Maryland County as cyclists are demanding a man who allegedly murdered another motorcyclist. Report from the county says the unidentified man allegedly murdered the 22-year-old motorcyclist, only identified as human, and made away with his motorcycle. Speaking to the station Monday, Maryland County Superintendent George Prowl called for security reinforcement as officers in the county are limited.
Well, at the moment, the motorcyclists in the county, particularly in the cities of Plebo and Harper, have closed down almost all activities. Local government offices are closed down in the county. Schools have been forcibly closed down, businesses as well. Our information is that they were around the prison compound for hours with the mind of wanting to forcibly open it so that they get the suspect out and be able to mob him to death as a way of satisfying them for what he did to their colleague. We have a small number of police officers on the ground who have been doing their best, but there's a need for reinforcement to be able to beef up their strength so that they do not succeed into what they're planning. So we have informed the Maryland Legislative Caucus this morning at the National Police Headquarters. I've informed the police. They are aware and they have organized a plan in order to curb the situation. We regret the incident, and so a few days ago, on our local radio, sympathizing with the bereaved family, the motorcyclists and friends of the victim, we have even taken the initiative as local government officials to have the body bound for at least a week.
Maryland County Superintendent George Prowl. The National Elections Commission will today hold a joint certification ceremony for the senators-elect of Gbapolu and Riverside counties. Wellington G. Von Smith of Riverside and Boto Cannon of Gbapolu will finally get their certificates of election nearly 5 months after the December 8, 2020 elections. A statement from the NEC says a minute from the Supreme Court of Liberia to the National Election Commission will precede the certification of Senator-elect Boto Kane of Barapodo County. Independent candidate Steve Tikwa has withdrawn his petition against the process following recount of the remaining 104 polling places in Rivers County as mandated by the Supreme Court of Liberia. Their certification will take place today at the National Elections Commission headquarters in Sinker this morning. President George Weah's ended his tour of the Western region with a commitment to undertake several development projects in counties in the region. President Weah's second leg took him to Bami, Barapodo, and Grand Cape counties, where he interacted with citizens. In Bami County, the Liberian leader committed to constructing health and women's centers in tier districts and upgrading counties' community college, while the president highlighted the streets of Tottenburg. In Barapodo County, President Weah committed to education and infrastructure projects, including electricity. In Grand Cape County, the president assured of paving the corridor between Medina and Rubbersport.
Through the Ministry of Education, all your school year will be renovated. As I said, the Rubbersport Road is your pride, and we're going to do it so you can continue. I know the person that spoke, there were 10 different roads. So your 10 access, let's start from the main one, the main street. All can access the Rubbersport to how far is it? Rubbersport. That's the main road that all use. So we're going to fix that. Then after we fix that, then while going forward, we will fix the rest of the road that needed. We secure 16 million United States dollars for private sector farming. And those that need agriculture, you can access some of that fund to do your farm. And to the rural women, as I said, we're doing our best to make sure that every year you have $2 billion United States dollars to do your business.
Well, the Liberian leader is expected to later tour Lofa, Grand Bassa, Maigibi, Synod, and Rivers counties to conclude the first county tour of his administration. Meanwhile, President George Weah has reminded the people of Grand Cape County that peace is vital to the overall development of the country. He spoke over the weekend at a town hall meeting to climax the tour of the Western region.
We came to say thank you and to listen to you. From the Grand Cape County and everywhere we went, if 10 persons speak, or 20 persons, no one say anything different. Everybody say the same thing. And if you are aware that the superintendent came here, he's everywhere. Mr. Sharma, Senator Sharma said. The woman came here, she said the same thing. I asked the superintendent, since we've been the government said they will do, is what you say here. You did not say anything different. If you know, if you have information from a lawmaker, you know that the road that you're talking about, that road is for tendering now, it's on the list to be paved.
Well, at the town hall meeting, Grand Cape County Legislative Caucus pledge is continue working relationship with the CDC-led government in the implementation of the proposed agenda. A senator of the county, Councillor Van Sheman, made the pledge on behalf of the caucus.
That economic development is a better connectivity because it will spur economic and social development. Economic and social development should therefore be a priority for your government. And I believe that social political connectivity will naturally flow from the infrastructure development that you are undertaking and that you will be undertaking for our people. That potential can be opened by the pavement of the Medina Rabaspur Highway. Our great Lake Piso, referred in history as Fisherman Lake, is a place for leisure. With the pavement of the Medina Rabaspur Highway, Nigerians and foreign residents will make Lake Piso a place for leisure, and it will spur economic activity in this part of Nigeria. Mr. President, fishing, swimming, jet skiing, sightseeing, the picnic hippopotamus, the crocodiles, ranching at Massachusetts Island, exploration of Massachusetts Island. All of these are touristic attractions for this part of Nigeria. So please.
He is Grand Cape County Senator, Councillor Van Sheman. Earlier was Liberian leader, President George Manawia. Well, viewers, if you just joined us, it's a reminder that you are watching LNTV News Live, and these are the top stories we're following. Ministry of Justice files a writ of prohibition to the Supreme Court seeking to block the certification of Lofa County Senator-elect Brani Samakar, Liberian Senate to make final decision on the printing of new Liberian currency. Maryland County Superintendent appeals for calm as tension brews in the county over the killing of a motorcyclist. And off the home front, traffic resumes in the Suez Canal after a stranded container ship was finally removed by a salvage cruise. We take a short break to be right back. Well, many thanks for rejoining us. I'm Cecilia Glickley Clark anchoring this morning edition. Let's take more developments. Maigibi County Superintendent Vanning Jerry says the county is prepared to receive the president on his county tour. Superintendent Vanning disclosed that as a means of buttressing government development agenda, series of developmental activities are expected to be dedicated by President George Weah during his tour. He spoke to LNTV News in Monrovia.
We don't want to blow our own trumpet, but follow the track record of Maigibi administration since we took over. We embarked on 23 projects. Out of 23 projects, 19 finished. We have been dedicated. Many of them are awaiting the president arrival in Maigibi to be dedicated, and the rest are ongoing, nearing completion. So to let you know, Maigibi, after the Hune County will be one of those counties that will keep the president very busy in dedicating project because we are not been sleeping since we took over. there was a little amount that was being given through the government of Liberia for the Channel Industrial Development Fund. We thought it was to have it utilized in the interest of our people. We were able to construct, meaning finish in total, 4 schools, elementary and junior high schools, 2 health centers. I didn't say clinic. I just told you health center. And we got rural rehabilitation. Because you see here, we are able to broadcast government effort. Our my citizens and leaders of my giving to also use our description on the Channel Industrial Development Fund to be able to budget government effort going on our government. It's for the people and by the people, and our government is constrained. So we're able to purchase 2 vehicles and many other.
Meanwhile, Superintendent Jerry Vining is urging his colleagues in the government to join President Weah in his developmental drive across the nation.
President, I have not seen his kind, President Weah. Look, the president decided to say, to hell with the young guys that stood by me, all right? But he told you why, being very generous, he said the young men and women stood by me. 12 unbroken years, we struggle. So let me give them a try. So my message to my young colleagues in government, even to the old folks, the president make us proud by letting us to work with the government, to work with him, and he did not select us to be lukewarm administrators for our counties or for our entity. But the president is someone that full of development. We should be able to watch this president in general, and that's why I'm doing my country. So I saw all leaders of follow suit. The president should be proud of us. He should not regret that putting us into the administration, and the poor Liberia should be proud of us. Going my Gibi, my people are proud of me because of the law what we are doing.
Well, a Liberian legal practitioner, Councillor Arthur Johnson, has clarified reports in the media that he has not yet earned a doctorate degree. In a media interaction with journalists at a local radio station Monday, Councillor Johnson displayed paper trails that authenticate degree credentials.
The letter of enrollment is July 31st, 2014.
Okay.
Enrollment and student identification note. There,
at that point now you get your ID now.
Yes.
Okay.
This is it. Then it will give you your password and everything. I leave that with you guys. And then they write you and welcoming you, and they gave you all of the faces how you open your portal. The portal is almost like your email box.
The president of Liberia now has a portal system.
I'm talking about that one.
No,
I'm talking about real portal.
No, that's what we have here now.
So let me give you one instance.
Yeah.
You see the letter I wrote them? You will see all of the credentials that are attached before I will qualify. Now, not small credentials, I got to submit. You see that? You see the credentials, the listing? I have to send letter of all my letter of employment as an instructor, my ledger, LLB degree ledger, my LLB degree, my criminal justice ledger, my MA degree ledger. So all other documents, you have to submit that. And that's how they enrolled me. This is my ledger. The system is built in a way, AB. If I go in my portal, anything I want, I get it. I don't got to arrest somebody to get me. I say, yo, please send me.
The same thing we can do at UL now.
No, you don't get it yet. You don't read that. You don't read that yet.
For what?
You get online library. So you see here, this is my ledger. And interestingly, this is what the standard was. I graduated with 3.94 GPA. But you know I could not graduate with summa cum laude because I did not write a book. That's the standard. So they gave me cum laude.
Councillor Arthur Johnson is a legal Liberian practitioner. A 3-day training in at strengthening the private security sector of Liberia is taking place in Painesville. In his opening statement, the head of the Security Expert Guard Agency of Liberia, Momo Sarah, said the sector has been affected due to the COVID virus.
Considering the COVID-19 and the issue of business, downsizing of business around the world, for which SEGAL is part, SEGAL has felt the pinch of the COVID-19. But because we want to remain in the business and remain ahead, the key word is that we are here to recalibrate. We are here to recalibrate. word in your mind as you go through this seminar and workshop. SEGAL as an institution is here to recalibrate. Recalibrate in a way that we can remain afloat, we can remain a leader in the private security business, and we cannot do that unless we come to these kind of functions and discuss the company as our own. I want you, individual participants, to take this company like your own. After this training, we want to see performance elevated, skyrocketed. Every participant should be an owner of this Liberian company.
SEGAL has started its vaccination campaign against COVID-19 with China and Sinopharm vaccine. Health workers, vulnerable people over 60, members of the defense and security forces, refugees and migrants are among groups being prioritized. Upon receiving his first dose of vaccine, Prime Minister Brigid Rafinin called on all citizens to be vaccinated for the sake of all the population. Health Minister Aman Boto said a second dose will be necessary 4 weeks later and assured that the side effects of the vaccine are largely minor. And traffic has resumed in the